Hey guys, Richard here with CRG Games, and there's been a couple questions about how to import cards directly from the TCGPlayer app into your inventory. And there are two ways to do that I have found, one of them being a slower way, and one of them being a little bit faster way if you're doing multiple cards. So, Chelsea, this one is for you. I appreciate you asking the question. It is a very good one, and it can save you a lot of time. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So what we're going to do here is actually list a unique card listing on TCGPlayer, and that's going to include a photo. So what you're going to do is scan that card, hit sell online, and then we're going to add all our details. First thing's going to be pictures, and you need to have a front picture. You can have a back picture. If you do, the idea is the buyer is going to know that the back isn't all chipped up. It's not scratched. It's not damaged. Just gives them a little bit more confidence to buy your card rather than a competitor's card. So in this case, I'm going to take a photo of the front and the rear of the card, and we are going to wait until that. You don't have to wait until it loads. It will as you're doing the rest of the listing here. Then you've got title, price, and a brief description. So after you make sure that your set is correct and the condition is correct, add your price, and then you don't necessarily have to add a description, but in this case, I just add a little generic description to it. And then, we just use that. But again, you don't have to. So add your description, hit done, and then all you have to do is hit publish listing, and that will be live on TCGPlayer for people to buy. It's very, very, very simple. So for the next listing here, what we're going to do is import our inventory via spreadsheet. So after you've added your card, you're going to hit export as a CSV. When you've successfully done that, you're then going to email it to yourself, and do not change the file type or anything like that. It's a very quick process. And attach that file, send it to yourself, and you're good to go. Then you need to save that on your desktop, and then we're going to convert that into a listing that can actually be used with the export option and import option on the TCGPlayer dashboard. So let's get into that. All right, guys, so in the next section here, we're going to add those cards that we had on our spreadsheet from the TCGPlayer app into our TCGPlayer inventory. And we're going to do that in a pretty quick and easy method. So you're going to go to the pricing tab in your seller portal. You're going to export a filtered CSV, and you just want to make sure that the set name matches. So we need, in this case, Modern Horizons 2. Our conditions, just want to make sure those are accurate. In this case, we've got a near mint card, so we're going to set the condition to near mint. The rarities, we are going to do mythic because we got a solitude. If you're scanning a bunch of cards, just make sure that you have all the pertinent rarities picked. So we could do rare as well, for example. Language is English, and printings, it is a normal printing. We didn't scan any foil, so we're just going to do normal. Export that filtered CSV. Now, I already have that exported right here, so I'm just going to cancel that. And then we're going to take a look at those spreadsheets. So on the left here, this is the spreadsheet that is generated by the TCGPlayer app. And it has basic information, but not everything we need to actually list it. In the right-hand side, I have that pricing export from the TCGPlayer seller platform. So first thing I want to do is format and auto-fit the column width. That way we can see everything. But we don't actually need everything in here. So what we're going to do is delete all of the lines that we don't need, which is going to be most of them. There we go. Hit delete. And the reason why I kept that top one is because I want a template, something to look at while I'm putting all my information in. So what you would do in this case, let's assume I'm going to highlight these and I'm going to copy them down. There we go. Now let's assume this is 34 different cards. In this case, it's just going to be Solitude. But let's assume this is a whole stack of cards that you just sorted, and then you took and you scanned in your app. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight all of your quantities first. You're going to copy that. And then you're going to go over here and go to the Add To quantity because we want to add these to our inventory. And we're just going to paste it. And you're going to do that with the applicable columns here. In name, we've got Solitude, so highlight all your names. copy and paste it over here into product name. Title is not something you'll be using in this case because title will be generated when you do that unique listing. So if you use the first method and you take the photo of the card and list it from the app, it will generate a title because it is considered a unique listing. Reasons you might do that is because maybe it's crimped or damaged and you want to make sure people can see that before they actually buy the card. So our set name is Modern Horizons 2. We'll copy all those over. Set name. And then our product line is Magic. So what we can do is just drag and drop that down. And then our SKU is actually going to be our TCGPlayer ID. So we need to copy all those. And when these are different cards, of course, they're going to be different numbers. And then our card number, we know that these are our card numbers, so we're going to add that over here. Our rarity is Mythic. And then you can drag that all the way down. And our condition is near mint. We can bring that all the way down. The pricing section here, you don't need to do anything with. That stuff is not really relevant. It's more of a guide so you can see those while you're pricing your cards. Make sure you're pricing them correctly. Then you're going to add in your marketplace price. You have to have a number in here. So in this case, it was about $31, so we'll put 31. We will drag and drop. If you're doing a bunch of different cards, you're going to individually put in, all of your values. Over here in the total quantity, these are all going to be 0. Unless you already have some of these in your inventory. Right now, we just want the add to quantity. If you already have some of these in your inventory, for example, let's say you have 2 Solitudes already, your total quantity should say 2. When you add in, you will have 3. But if you change this to 0, it will overwrite your total quantity to 0 and then add 1. So in that case, you would only have 1 showing up in your inventory. So just be mindful how many copies of a card you already have. And then we're going to go to our TCGPlayer store reserved quantity. We're going to put 0 in here because we're not reserving any for a store. Our store pricing, this has to have a number in it if there's a column there for it. So we're just going to put 31 in all those as well. So now we have the correct information for this. We don't need anything in the title. Our product name is correct. All of this stuff is correct, and we're good to go. Now you can delete that top line, but you don't actually have to because we're not adding anything to it and we have a 0 in that column. It's not actually going to change the amount of cards in our inventory. It's going to remain 0. So go ahead and save that and then open back up in your pricing tab. Go to import to staged, choose that file, hit continue. Looks like we have a duplicate. The reason why is because we have Solitude on here like 30 times. So what we're going to do is delete those, save that again, and cancel it. And let's try it one more time with our updated spreadsheet. There we go. So now we're going to hit continue. View staged. Always view the staged inventory before you go to move to live. So right here, this is going to be everything in your staged. Apparently at one point I was going to list some fight riggings. I don't know if I ever did, so I'm just going to delete that. Academy Manufacturer, as you'll see, we're not adding any to our quantity. And then Solitude, our plus and minus quantity is going to be in that case 2, but we're going to change that to 1. This is because I've already tried this once, and just to make sure everything worked okay. Yes, all right, we are correct. So make sure your quantities are correct here. We want our total quantity to be 1, and then what you would do is move to live, and then any cards in here will be moved to the live inventory. And that's really how you do it. You can, if you want, like I said, leave all of those cards in this side. What that will do when you generate that export is it's actually going to update all the pricing to whatever the current, market price, TCG low, all that good stuff, and then you can adjust your pricing from there. Even if you're not adding anything to your inventory, it's a good time to take a look at your prices and make sure that you're competitive and you're not, maybe not too high, not too low, and get all that in order as well. But that is it. That is all there is to it. There isn't a way to just scan a whole bunch of cards and hit add to live inventory. That's currently not a feature that's available. I don't know if it ever will be. I've never heard of that becoming a feature. It'd be helpful. I would like that to be a feature. That way it would save a lot of time and energy. But in order to do that, because TCGPlayer uses a CSV method, everybody's phone would have to have, like Microsoft Excel, or you'd have to probably use Google Sheets, something like that, to be able to put in the correct data. So for now, it's probably not going to be a feature of the app, but these two methods are what I find is the fastest way to do that. Export your CSV, copy all of your cards that you're going to be adding over into the right-hand side, and then go from there. The only thing you just need to make sure you do is keep an eye on how many you already have, so you're not accidentally changing those amounts. You don't want to overwrite your inventory and put in a 0 when you might have 10 copies of something. You just want to make sure you're adding 1 or 2 or whatever that number is. So I hope that helps you out. Hope you learned something. If you like the video, go ahead and hit like. If you want to subscribe, awesome. I'd love to have you. And if you'd like to support the channel, crggamesllc.com. Pick up a couple packs. I got a bunch on there, and I'm always adding new sets and new products. I'm a big fan of booster packs, so hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I'll catch you later.